For another injury right now, Christian Watson, torn ACL, devastating injury, went down yesterday, non-contact. The moment he went down, you knew it wasn't going to be good. After the game, Matt LaFleur said he was not optimistic about the nature of the injury, and of course, it turned out that the test shown the torn ACL. Disappointing end to the season. Jordan Love went out of the game yesterday with what they called a right elbow injury. His hand had some tape on it. He was flexing his hand, but near the end of the game, he was warming up as if he was thinking about trying to come back in. The Packers don't believe it's going to be a problem for this weekend in a game in which they'll be up against the Eagles and their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, who still remains in concussion protocol now, a couple of weeks after he suffered that concussion. We'll see if he's able to clear protocol this week and get back to the playing field. Let's get Mina back in the shot here one more time, Laura.
All right. We don't need Mina. Let's just talk about this. So, yeah. This is a tricky spot for the Green Bay Packers for multiple reasons, but also for the Philadelphia Eagles when you think about it. I think it's believed that Jordan Love will play, but I guess still it's technically a question mark. So now it's kind of like, will he play? Is he healthy? Is he banged up, but he's still going to kind of play? It's never a good feeling to go in as a team, whether or not it's going to be Jordan Love or Jordan Love, but just 80%. I don't really know what the story is in there. And then you're obviously losing Watson. It's just a tough place to be in. There's no dispute there. And then now even defensively, you're like, are you going up against Jalen Hurts or not? The way how you're going to prepare defensively against Jalen Hurts is going to be wildly different than someone else, right? McKee or whoever ends up starting for the Eagles. And it's just a weird situation. And now also, even if you know it's going to be Jalen Hurts, you're like, well, is Jalen Hurts really going to run? And what type of quarterback is Jalen Hurts going to be when we face him? It becomes more unpredictable, honestly, because you just don't really know. Is Jalen Hurts going to hand the ball off a lot more? Is he going to run? Is he going to run less? Is he going to throw more? You just don't know. So it's like a weird, sticky, muddled up preparation this week in terms of going up against the Eagles, because one, you don't even 100% know who you have on your end, and two, you don't know who you're going up against. You literally don't even know who the starting quarterback is, and both of those quarterbacks, whoever is going to play for the Eagles, are just going to be so different. The way how you attack it defensively is going to be wildly different. And not to mention, if you do think it is Jalen Hurts, you still don't know how you're going to attack it, because you don't know what type of quarterback he's going to be. So it's messy. This is a messy week of preparation that I don't even know what you would do. If you're a coach, I really don't even know how you attack this week leading up to the Eagles. The fortunate thing is that it's a Sunday game and not a Saturday game, which at least is kind of gives you an extra day in a weird kind of way. But, obviously, going into this game, there's a strong belief that that the Eagles are going to have the momentum. They're obviously at home. They've obviously been playing high level ball, even with Jalen Hurts down. The Packers are clearly not playing their best ball, and it remains to be seen. Is their best ball still on the table? Can they find it? They have to find it now, obviously, right? Literally win or go home. So. But it is interesting because the spread is the Eagles are minus 4.5. So, but considering the Eagles are the 2 seed, considering the Packers are going to be on the road, when you look at the Bills versus the Broncos, the Steelers and the Ravens, they're not giving the Broncos any chance, and they're not giving the Steelers any chance. The other close game is 3.5 points, I think it is, or 3 or 3.5, for the Commanders and the versus the Bucks, and that's with a rookie quarterback on the road. So clearly, there's still a belief that the Packers can have this. And again, I don't know if that spread is because they're not sure of Jalen Hurts. Where if Jalen Hurts was full strength and had been playing all this time, would it still be 4.5, or would it be more? Would it be 6, 7, 8? I obviously don't have that answer. And is it also because now the Packers are dealing with some injuries and some unknowns about Jordan Love, or will it be Malik Willis, or whatever? But still, the way how it is constructed right now, Again, there's some of these other games that people are like, there's no chance they win. This game, clearly people still see it as a chance. The Packers can still cause a lot of trouble for the Eagles. And I can already hear it from the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, there's a belief of like, oh yeah, this team's banged up. This will be cake. Whether we got Jalen Hurts or not, we got this. Let's go. And that's kind of where the Packers want to be, because that's very similar to the Dallas Cowboys, going up against the Packers last year. I mean, I still remember so vividly the Cowboys wearing their hats and their shirts and celebrating after they won the division. And they're like, oh, yeah, baby, there's more to come after this. And they were all excited, like, we're just getting started, and we're at home, undefeated. No one can stop us. Let's go. We got Micah Parsons. We got CeeDee Lamb. We got Dak Prescott. We are coming. And Packers fans obviously know very well that lasted for all of, 15 seconds. It was crazy. And watching that game, I also remember vividly because I genuinely laughed the entire time because it was wild. It was just wild. And so, in a way, it's almost kind of good that the Packers have not been playing great ball and they're banged up now and the Eagles are feeling really good. And, their whole conversation was like, do we go for a record or not? Right? Like, that was their big debate. And so there is a chance that the Eagles are already thinking about next week. They're already on to the next game. They're already thinking about, all right, who are we going to play? All right. And whereas the Packers are kind of like, yo, we gotta light a fire, man. We have not been playing our best ball, and yet we're still in these games. Can you imagine if we just get our act together, how good we can be? Like, here we go. I wouldn't be surprised if they play some tape from the game against the Cowboys and listen to some of those things of everyone saying the Packers have no chance, the Packers have no chance, the Packers have no chance. And then showing what it was like on Monday when all of the people on TV were like, what was that? What was that? I mean, you had people like Nick Wright saying that the Dallas Cowboys were going to go to the Super Bowl. In fact, lots of people thought the Dallas Cowboys were going to go to the Super Bowl and that Dak Prescott was the MVP. And the Green Bay Packers were like, nope. But the big difference was that the Green Bay Packers were playing their best ball at the end of that season. Jordan Love was the hottest quarterback in the NFL. He was literally the best quarterback in those 8 weeks onward. And we saw that continue. So the Packers clearly do not have that level of momentum right now, nor are the Philadelphia Eagles like the Dallas Cowboys. The Philadelphia Eagles actually show up. They prepare. They've actually been to an NFC Championship game, in the last 30 years. So they do know what's at stake. But there still is a chance that they're not taking the Packers as seriously. They did play them, but like I've been saying, week one, the Eagles and the Packers, week one, again, is meaningless. I really don't even know how much the coaches and the staff are really going to even look at that and really use that as any type of reference point, honestly. I'd love to know that. But it doesn't feel like it because these are two completely different teams at this point. Completely different teams with potentially different quarterbacks. I mean, who knows? So that's what makes this game really confusing because there's so many unknowns. I think it fully makes sense that the Eagles should be favored. And I think it fully makes sense that the Packers should feel that they're going up a hill. But it's so different when you have to go up the hill. Because if you ever walked and you're maybe walking around the city or you're walking, on a trail, for any of you hikers out there, like sometimes a steep climb catches you off guard. And you're like, you're sweating, you're wearing jeans and and like nicer shoes. And you're like, I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't know it was going to be like this, man. Now you're all like itchy and uncomfortable because you're just not wearing the right gear. It catches you off guard and that's uncomfortable. And that's how you get rocked. But the Packers know what needs to be done. So they're not going to be caught off guard. They know this is an uphill battle. They know they got to bring it. They know they got to play high level ball. They know that. Anyone who doesn't know that doesn't deserve to be on the team then. So they know it. So they are going to be ready. They are going to wear the right shoes. They are going to wear the right clothing. They're going to be ready. Now, will they be able to play? Will they be able to keep up? That's why we're going to watch. We'll find out. But at least you can have the confidence that the Packers will understand what needs to go down. But will they be ready? Will they be able to execute? because these last few weeks, it doesn't feel that they were. They did not show up. I fundamentally think that they did not show up. Was that because of Matt LaFleur's inability to get them ready for the moment? Was it just this youth? Was it just because we're just not good enough this season? I mean, those are the questions that we're going to maybe find the answers out on Sunday. Because if they don't play awesome ball and they don't show up, then I will be like, this was a mess. This was a mess. The way how they were able to make it this far was just based off of talent and maybe a little bit of luck here and there. Because it's like, I expect the team to be able to play. I expect the team to be able to, like, you know, give themselves a chance to kind of get after it, to kind of make it somewhat competitive. That's what I'm expecting. And anything less than that would make me have to really be like, what was the core problem here? What was the core problem? Why was this team not prepared? Why did this team have so much momentum last season? And why were they unable to recapture that momentum? Because we saw the Detroit Lions have a ton of momentum last season, and their season obviously ended. And they got off to a slow start this season, but they were able to regain that momentum without a doubt, obviously getting the 1 seed. And you would have to then look back and be like, why were the Green Bay Packers unable to do that? So either way, we're going to get some answers. And I'm excited for this game. Eagles-Packers have a good deal of history with one another. So green on green, let's get after it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Green Bay Packers going up against the Philadelphia Eagles this weekend? Do you think the Packers have a legitimate chance? Do you think it's kind of too steep to climb? What do you think about kind of the balance of injuries right now, I guess, on both teams? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.